Ed Werder from the Mothership just sent out a report that Tony Romo not cleared to play. I guess medically he's cleared, but he's not cleared football-wise to be able to get in uniform against the Steelers. Is that what you're making of this?
Well, look, what I'm making of this is they are going to ride Dak Prescott as long as they can, and if he wins at Pittsburgh on Sunday, that would be one heck of an accomplishment because a Steelers team that is desperate and at home is not an easy team to beat. If he pulls this one off, then it's his job, barring a complete and total collapse or a serious injury. And I think the Cowboys are slow playing this. I actually like what Jerry Jones said yesterday about the issue being something that's not going to be totally resolved at any point this year. Why have a plan? Why announce to the world what you're going to do? Keep the opponents guessing as to when and if they may see Tony Romo, and keep the flexibility to give Tony Romo a series or two here or there just to keep him fresh in case you need him for the postseason. But there's no mandatory requirement that they say who the quarterback's going to be.
But Jerry can't help himself, Mike. That's been part of the problem. I wouldn't tell anybody anything. Just we're progressing. We'll let you know when Tony is medically cleared. But Jerry couldn't help himself with this.
Well, but when you have a commitment to appear on a radio station in Dallas twice a week, you're going to talk about something,
Yeah.
and this is part of his gig. He's a showman. He's a carnival barker, and he's great for the sport. He's great for his team, and he's great for the league. And look, I think at a certain level, Dan, and I know that they have a high degree of loyalty to Tony Romo, and they'd love to win a Super Bowl with Tony Romo, but Jerry Jones desperately wants to be the guy who built the champion. He knows that very few people give him credit for the team of the 90s that won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. That was Jimmy Johnson's team, and it was such a great team that even without Jimmy Johnson there, Barry Switzer was able to win a Super Bowl. He doesn't want to be the guy who rode sidecar. He wants to be the guy who steered the ship, and Dak Prescott's his guy. He can take credit for Dak Prescott. Tony Romo's Bill Parcells' guy. He's one of the last remaining Parcells players. He was a guy Parcells discovered and kept and groomed. Prescott is Jerry's guy, and when you couple that with Prescott playing as well as he is, that's something that makes the feather in Jerry's cap a little bit bigger.
Yeah, but it feels like he's trying to still keep the door open for Romo, even though Dak Prescott's his guy.
Yeah, well, look, let's say they lose to Pittsburgh this week by 20 points, and Prescott has 3 turnovers, and then they lose the following week. And you want to keep the door open. And here's the one thing that I would be worried about if I was a Cowboys fan. Prescott continues to play well for the rest of the season. They get the 1 seed or the 2 seed in the NFC, and then in the divisional round, the Packers are in town, and it's late in the third quarter. They're down 7 or 10 points. Prescott's thrown an interception or 2. What do you do? What do you do then? Because you know what? Whatever you do, if it doesn't work, you're going to hear about it for the next 20 years. You either should have put Romo back in if you don't and you lose, or you should have left Romo out if you go with him and you lose. That is not a good problem to have. I know they like to say good problem to have. The only good problem to have is no problem. And as long as Romo is looming, that is a potential issue that happens in the playoffs. And we saw it from Prescott against the Eagles a week and a half ago. He got it together. He played well. They got the win. But when the season is riding on it, when it's win or go home, are you going to trust the rookie in that spot, or are you going to be tempted to put Romo back out on the field? I wouldn't want that temptation if I was the Cowboys.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.